to order, and Derek will lead us into the pledge of our flag.
Salute, pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Director McLaren?
Here.
Director Gindi?
Here.
Director Urasic?
Here.
Director Martin?
Here.
Director Paris?
Here.
Angel Fitzpatrick?
Here.
Arden Wells?
Arden is not here, but this is Maureen Riley from Todd Groundwater in her place.
Thank you, Maureen. Craig Parton?
Here.
And Cameron Goodman?
He's not present.
And
Okay, we're on item 4, adoption of the agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda? Motion to adopt. Motion by Rami,
Second.
second by Angelica. You won. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the motion to adopt the agenda, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion's carried unanimously. We're now on public comments for non-agenda items. Any public comments on non-agenda items? Good morning, sir. When you get up there, can you say your name and?
Yeah, so I was just going to introduce myself because I don't come to these meetings very often, and I know when a new face shows up, everyone kind of likes to know who they are. But my name is Joshua Nugent. Our family farms the 400 acres of pistachios at Avenue A and 100th Street West, approximately, under Ora Vista Farms, and RTS Orchards are kind of the two names that farm that. So I just wanted to say hi, and we're interested in the carryover. So appreciate it.
Well, Joshua, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for introducing yourself. Anyone else? Okay, seeing no further public comments, we're on the consent agenda. Items A, B, and C. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Rob, oops, sorry. Can I just make note that staff added a list of the outstanding replacement water starting on page 11. And I just want to let the board know that we plan to add this list after variable billing each year. So we're aware of what outstanding replacement water is out there.
So this list on starting on page 11, is this part of the consent agenda?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. Thank you.
It's part of the financial.
And you will start adding this on the consent agenda?
Once a year.
Okay, great. Outstanding. And for the public, why don't you just explain what this shows us and?
Okay. So this sheet here shows all the replacement water that's outstanding as of May 31st, 2026. It shows the party type, the party name, and the description of that replacement water, as well as the acre foot of replacement water that's due to the Watermaster.
Okay, and some of it is, and it shows the dates, how far it goes back. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, super. Very good report. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, now can we approve the consent agenda? And are we going to start, where would this show up on our consent agenda as an item?
It would just be included with the financials.
Financial
Once a year, yes.
Because it's part of the financial.
Yep.
Got it. Okay, great. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda items A, B, and C?
Moved. Second.
Motion made by Derek, second by Kathy. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the motion to approve the consent agenda items A, B, and C, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. We're on the advisory committee report. And is there somebody here from the advisory committee or on the line?
Hey, good morning, Chair Paris. This is Daniel Clifford. I'm going to do my level best to replicate the Dennis Lamoureux approach to the advisory report.
Outstanding, Daniel. Go ahead, sir.
Well, I will say, as Dennis often says, the document speaks for itself. I would add just some quick summary. The discussion concerning the storage agreements was robust, and ultimately, and you'll see this in the report, resulted in a unanimous vote to approve the storage agreement as drafted. On behalf of the advisory committee, I'd like to thank everybody that was involved in getting that over the line, at least at the advisory committee level. We were all pleased with where things landed. I can respond to any specific questions if there are any from you or the other directors.
And I'm looking at your minutes right now, Daniel, and I just want to make sure. I know AVEC submitted a last minute addition and that the advisory committee reviewed that, and that was part of the unanimous support. Is that correct?
Correct. We had that available to us, I believe. I want to just confirm that. I think that we did in fact have that and considered it as part of prior to our vote.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thanks for your hard work on this. I know it took several meetings and a lot of discussion, but we got to a good place, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
And that kind of leads us right into our public hearing to consider the approval of the proposed Antelope Valley Watermaster carryover storage and recovery agreement.
Motion to open the public hearing.
Motion made by Kathy to open the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Derek. And by roll call vote, all in favor of the motion to open the public hearing.
Director McLaren,
Yes.
Director Gindi,
Yes.
Director Urasic,
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
and Director Paris.
Yes, motion to open the public hearing carries unanimously. We're on item 2. Comments from our general counsel, Greg.
Yes, just a background. We've been close, but no cigar up to this point. I think we've responded to all the questions that have been posed and written comments on amending the template for carryover storage. We got comments last month from District 40, from Stan Powell, and I believe we had a couple of other comments that we incorporated into the draft template. The only remaining, I think, issue is what the board would like to do with the amendment to recital F by AVEC. I've looked at it, just so you know where I stand on it. I thought that the changes were non-substantive. That can be made without changing the meaning, understanding, force, and effect of the judgment. That's my opinion. The board certainly can discuss that as it might, but that discussion only occurred after we got the language that AVEC was proposing. And it's a couple of sentences that have some red line to them. They're on page, just so you know what we're talking about. The red line is part of the advisory committee comments at page 34. That's what they intend to have added to the agreement or changed. And my opinion is it's basically saying they're not giving up any rights that they have under the judgment, the signees of the agreement, and is acceptable if the board wants to move in that direction.
Okay, great. And Daniel, I think we already got your statement for the advisory committee regarding this, but do you have anything else to add?
Chair Paris, I'm just looking this over. Give me 2 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I believe, I don't want to necessarily misspeak. I believe that we had this available to us at our meeting. I don't think that this is new language.
In fact, what we're looking at for the new language is the minutes from the advisory committee.
Yeah, in that case, then my response stands that we're comfortable with this.
Super, great, thank you. And then we're on item 4, statements by the public, and any public would like to talk about this? Anybody online raising their hands? No? Okay, comments by the board. Derek?
Okay, I'll go first. So this isn't to change or amend, but more maybe some clarification. So I want to make clear that my goal is not to hold this up. So, just one observation on behalf of the landowners, and then a clarifying question to general counsel and the Watermaster. So, very much appreciate that Mr. Powell's recital revisions have been incorporated. The recital C, E, and F changes are good improvements to the template. I wanted to flag one of Powell's points that does not appear to have carried through the application form, which is the inclusion of the use of well. The question is attached in table C, which sits under the section 5 of the material injury information section. So 2 points here. My understanding of the judgment is that the material injury is a function of physical impact, rate and amount of extraction, drawdown, subsidence, and water quality, and not a function of whether the water is being used for domestic, agriculture, municipal, or commercial purposes. So, the first question I look for, and maybe I'll read it all and then come back to you, Craig, and come back to engineer, is to ask council and engineer to confirm on record, is the use type a factor in the material injury determination under the judgment, or is it not? Again, not asking for the form to be amended. I'm asking for that confirmation on the record, so that is going forward how the Watermaster interprets and applies material injury standards.
Yeah, I think it's consistent with the judgment. I do. I think that the other part of the question is more appropriate for the engineer to respond to. But I don't believe there's been a material change in the language that's being presented.
This is Maureen Riley, Todd Groundwater. When we do a material injury on the practical side, we don't look at the use of water when determining the material injury. I don't know if that's helpful, but that's not a consideration.
Great, thank you.
Questions answered?
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
Appreciate that.
Any other questions by the board? Rami, is LA County okay with the AVIX changes?
Yes, we're good with recital F as it's amended.
And landowners? Okay, great. Any other comments by the board?
Motion to close public hearing?
Motion by Kathy to close the public hearing. Is there a second? Second by Angelica. Is there any discussion? Roll call vote to close the hearing.
Director McLaren,
Yes.
Director Gindi,
Yes.
Director Urosic,
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Paris.
Yes. Motion's carried unanimously. That brings us to item 9, resolution to approve a form of carryover storage and recovery agreement, annual production reporting form, and a form application to convert carryover water to stored water. And item A is our memorandum for the carryover storage and recovery template. Item B is the red line of the carryover storage and recovery template. Item C is the carryover storage and recovery template. Item D is annual production reporting. I'm drawing this out because it took us so long to get here. Item E, application for carryover water converted to stored water form. And item F is going to be the resolution 2626, resolution to approve a form of carryover storage and recovery agreement, annual production reporting form, and a form application to convert carryover water stored to stored water. And before I ask for the motion, I just want Craig to clarify, the resolution we have right now does not include the changes by AVAC, correct?
Correct.
And the resolution, but you have said that we can approve resolution R 2026 with the AVAC changes.
That's correct.
So does the motion need to incorporate that or?
I think the motion is to approve resolution 2626 as revised at the board meeting on June 24th.
And the understanding of revised means the AVAC revision that we
Correct.
just discussed.
But what I intend to do is, if this is voted and approved, is to get a clean final version inserted as Exhibit A. But that version will have the only difference will be the additional
AVAC language, okay. And how this works is when the board approves these resolutions, if I'm sitting as chair or Kathy's sitting chair, we're the ones that will sign these.
Mhm.
So if this is approved, I will sign the resolution correct, revised. So Craig will revise it before I will sign. Okay, just so you know what we're doing. Okay, is there a motion to approve resolution R 2626 as revised with the AVAC language just discussed?
So moved.
Motion made by Kathy,
Second.
second by Angelica. This is a big deal. We need public water providers, and landowners.
Good spread here.
That's good. Okay. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve resolution R 2626 as revised? Going once, going twice. All in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Congratulations, board and public and advisory committee and everybody. This is government in action. It took us a long time to get here, but we came to a consensus that everybody can agree with, and that's great. So congratulations. And Greg was a little doubting about we'd ever be here. I promised you, Greg, we would make it.
Is it too early to have champagne?
Mimosa.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, item 10, public hearing to consider approval of revised 2026 fee schedule. And so I'm proposing that we have a public hearing approving the proposed Antelope Valley Watermaster revised 2026 fee schedule. Is there a motion? Motion by Rami. Is there a second?
Second.
By Angelica. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion by roll call vote.
Director McLaren,
Yes.
Director Gandy,
Yes.
Director Urasic,
Yes.
Director Martin. Yes. And Director Paris.
Yes, motion's carried unanimously. We're on item 2, comments from general counsel. Craig?
The comments will be by the engineer and staff.
Okay, excellent. Item 3, any comments by the advisory committee? And I think no comments. Okay.
Yeah, no discussion.
Then item 4, statements by the public. Anybody in the public wants to talk about our revised 2026 fee schedule? Okay, item 5, comments by the board. Board, any comments? Everybody good? Angel, do you have any comments?
I have no comment.
Okay, great. That was a quick public hearing. We're on item 6. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Motion by Kathy.
Second.
Second by Derek. Any discussion? By roll call vote?
Director McLaren,
Yes.
Director Gindi,
Yes.
Director Yarosik,
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
and Director Paris.
Yes. Motion passes unanimously to close the public hearing. We're on item 11, resolution to approve the revised 2026 fee schedule. Item A is memorandum proposed revised 2026 fee schedule. Item B is a proposed revised 2026 fee schedule. And C is the resolution R 2632, the resolution to approve the revised 2026 fee schedule. Is there a motion to approve resolution R 2632?
Motion.
Motion made by Kathy,
Second.
second by Derek. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the motion to approve resolution R 2632, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion's carried unanimously. Item 12. Set public hearing to consider approval of the 2025 annual report. So now we're just going to have a presentation on the annual report. We will hear public comments, and then we will set public hearing, and the motion would be to set public hearing after all that's done, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I would imagine Maureen's here for the presentation on the draft 2025 annual report.
Yep, it's a special edition of the Arden Show.
Outstanding, Maureen. Now it's the Maureen show. Starting on her honeymoon.
Yes, she is. And you'll have to wait till the end of the presentation. I have pictures of her on her wedding day. So
Oh,
stay
that's
tuned.
great.
As promised. I'm here today to present the update on the annual report. I'm also joined with Ed Potts, who you met last meeting in person, and he's going to present the details about the water levels. Can everyone see the slides?
Yes.
Perfect. The draft annual report was posted online June 9th, and you can see a picture of the cover there. It's available for review for the public and anyone who's interested. We've received a few written comments, and those are detailed at the end of this presentation. And we'll present today on the water levels and water balance. And like Rob had mentioned, we have opportunity at the end for questions and comments from the public and board and anyone who wants to weigh in. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Ed to talk about water levels. Go ahead, Ed.
Thank you, Maureen. Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here again with you all. I'm just going to present two slides today about the annual report water level analysis. So, looking at slide 1, which Maureen has up, the annual report includes a detailed analysis of spring 2025 and spring 2026 groundwater level elevations. Here in this slide is a snapshot of spring 2026 groundwater level elevations, and they're presented here as a contour map. As you might be able to see, I'm not too sure how clearly it came out on the presentation, but some of the contour lines are dashed, and these dashed lines indicate areas of limited available data due to low well coverage. The lowest areas of groundwater elevation can be observed in the Palmdale area in the central sub-area, where generally surrounding groundwater in adjacent sub-areas kind of point towards this low point or cone of depression. The highest groundwater elevations you can see are in the southeast sub-area, and this is mostly due to higher ground surface levels in the southern extents of the sub-basin. And lastly, the most broad, flat areas of groundwater can be observed in the Rogers Lake sub-area, where you can see few contours. And then going on to the next slide. How does groundwater levels in spring 2026 compared to the previous year in spring 2025? This figure highlights areas of groundwater level change within a 1-year period from spring 2025 to spring 2026. The purple areas indicate an increase, and the orange-brown areas indicate a decrease. So as you can see in the west Antelope sub-area and in some areas of the southeast sub-areas, there is a majority groundwater increase, and these can be associated with water banks, with the AVEC, Tijon, AVEC, and then in the southeast, we have the creek recharge. In the central Antelope sub-area, groundwater decreases are most prominent, especially in the Quartz Hill area, where you can see those kind of two clusters of wells in those kind of browner orange zones. However, this can be attributed to much higher groundwater levels in spring 2025, and we're just seeing levels returning to more normal baseline levels in that sub-area. And then in our other sub-areas, in the Willow Springs and Rogers Lake, not many changes were observed. And then I'm going to hand you back over to Maureen to discuss the water balances.
Great, thanks, Ed. As Ed said, the water balance is what we're going to discuss this time.
Maureen?
Yes?
Yeah, Derek had a question.
Can we
Oh,
go
go
back
ahead.
to the prior slide, please?
Sure.
Great. This is helpful, and I'm trying to zoom in on my computer. But one of the interesting questions I guess I have, and just maybe as a follow-up, is, on the southeast sub-area.
Yes.
It is, you have adjacent interesting events taking place, right? And the relativeness of I know AVEC has an east side water banking system there, but you have a strong dark purple and a decent red, taking place in the same area, very adjacent to each other. And I don't know, I've forgotten the contours out there and what's taking place. Any view of what's happening there?
So just to be clear, are we talking about the well by
So I'm looking at the heat map where your arrow is, and if you just go to the left, right,
Yeah.
right, those two, right?
So Derek's commenting on how the purple, this is the recharge facility. So compared to last year, there's a lot more water, and it's really close to the pumping wells here that compared to last year, we have lower water levels. And they're, like you mentioned, Derek, there's just a lot of competing operations going in a small area. I think the way that we color this map is based on the points, the actual water level observed measurements. And so it's probably a little smoother and less purple and orange. It's just where we have the well data. But there's also complicating geology in that area, not just groundwater management, but there's also a fault or limiting water barrier there. And you can see really right at the sub-area line, part of the reason why there is a sub-area line is that there is less flow due to faulting. Did you have a specific question on why that is, or just noting that that is a dynamic and complicated part of the basin?
Being out there and farming it a long time ago, it is dynamic and complicated. Even on property that has zero water and property that has some of the best water in the valley. So understood that. My interpretation of this, and not knowing the roads and everything, is where that AVEC East Side Water Bank is a little south of the dark, right?
Yeah.
Southwest.
But there's also the Big Creek Recharge Project. Can you see the blue line here?
Okay.
I think that while the recharge project is pointing here, I think it is recharge all along the waterway. And so there might be a larger area than just the one point that we have on this map. Ed, you can jump in and correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're correct.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I think particularly those
Yes. Hi, it's Angelica. Is there any way you can do full screen on the slide?
Oh,
It's taking all the screen and it's very hard to.
I'm on full screen on my end. Is that something Angel could help with?
I'm on my computer, so I'm able to zoom in and zoom out.
If possible, if not, we'll.
Yeah, for me, I have it full screen.
That's better.
Okay. Thank you. was just gonna say that deep orange that we have right next to the recharge projects, those are probably pumping wells or wells nearby pumping that just changed from one year to another rather than representing long-term trends in that particular area. Right, and are those the Quartz Hill wells?
The Quartz Hill wells are those two kind of adjacent darker circles in the Central Valley.
Oh, Central Valley, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see, yeah.
But yes, you between, this is just a snapshot, as you said, Maureen, between 1 year, and you do get a lot of variation with pumping and groundwater levels in some areas. It can differ by.
And this is maybe I've forgotten, but it would be interesting is since the end of the ramp down and evaluating, just seeing what the historical kind of year over year on this is, cumulative would be very helpful. This is a great map, but it's just showing, 12 months, what it would look like.
Yeah. And we do that in other basins to show that, because year to year, you do get that pumping variation and you have one wet year and it looks very different. We can look at doing a long-term comparison of, what are water levels now and what were they 10, 15 years ago. I think finding that baseline will be we'll have to take some thinking on what we want to show, right? Hydrologic variation versus temporal variation. We want to make sure we're showing the changes over time and not just a wet year to a dry year or vice versa. So we'll take that suggestion maybe for next year.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
That's a good idea.
Hey, should I? Oh.
Maureen, go ahead.
Okay, so I realized my video is off. I'm gonna turn it back on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
We turned that off on purpose because it made us seem bigger.
Then I'll turn that off. Good. So going to the next slide, the water balance. Each year we look at the inflows and outflows from the groundwater basin. We detail each one of these and estimate based on the current hydrologic considerations, the current land use. The groundwater inflows include mountain front recharge along the edges of the basin, as well as percolation from streams. We look at agricultural return flows, urban return flows, and the imported water at recharge banking facilities. For groundwater outflows, the main one is groundwater production, pumping from wells, but we also look at springs and evapotranspiration from shallow groundwater, and also subsurface outflow outside of the basin. That's limited to certain areas, but it is part of the calculations. For 2025, we have each one of those components here with the estimated acre feet. They were lower than average conditions this year, mainly because 2024 had less rainfall than expected. There were wetter months in early 2025, but it is some lag between when we see the precipitation and when it actually percolates into the groundwater basin. I think what this table can give you is an order of magnitude of each one of those inflows. There's variation every year based on hydraulic variability, and you can see the net positive change in storage was 38,000 acre feet. But a lot of that is the recharge of stored water and is spoken for and not just for the benefit of the basin. We had lower ag and return flows because we've had change in land use for ag and water conservation for urban. And so we've seen a decline over time on both of those. This shows the water balance divided out by sub area, also for 2025. Each color represents one of those inflows or outflows. The main one you can see is the blue. The blue represents the groundwater production, and you can see the Central Antelope Valley. Central Antelope subarea right here in the middle. Blue is the biggest bar because that's where the most production happens. There's also the yellow, which you'll see both on top and bottom of the zero line. It's both an inflow and outflow. This represents the subsurface flow, not just into the basin, but between sub areas. And you can see in Central, we have the largest yellow box, the most water coming into Central, and that's from the west and southeast sub areas. And they're flowing from those sub areas to Central. That's the big takeaways. You can also see this orange is the imported water at banking facilities, and that is mostly in the West Antelope sub area, but also a little bit in Central and Southeast. We're looking at the same colors for each one of those water balance components, but now we're looking at it over 2016 to 2025. We've had ups and downs over the years. The extremely dry years of 2021 and 2022, you can tell our recharge has declined. Again, here blue is groundwater production, which has remained pretty stable over time. And that red, orange is the imported water that varies based on surface water availability and hydrologic year type. This past year, we mentioned there was an increase in storage, and over the entire period here from 2016, we are up 185,000 acre feet, net increase to the basin. This is the last year when we presented the water balance, we got comments from the board that you would like to see this in comparison to the safe yield numbers. It's not quite apples to apples, so we have a series of tables that try to compare the two to give you an idea of where we are this year as compared to what it was the long-term average enshrined in the judgment. There's a lot of numbers here, so you'll have to bear with me on how we're putting these in. This is a new table in the annual report to also give you some more information that you can look. So the safe yield in the judgment has basically two major components. There's the natural groundwater recharge, that's mountain front recharge and percolation from streams, and return flows. They group both ag and return flows together, but call out separately the imported water return flows. And you can see here the return flows plus natural groundwater gets you to a 82,300 acre feet safe yield. We have the actual imported water return flow number here, the 2025, but just note that the judgment had a higher one estimated in the safe yield. Comparing that to both the long-term, what we've seen in the last 10 years and this year, the natural groundwater recharge has been lower. We've seen lower than average precipitation over the last 10 years, and including in 2025. This year, the natural groundwater was only about 16,000 acre feet, much lower than we've seen in the past, as noted because the 2024 was a dry start to the year. Now, we have to get a little bit different. Our estimates on return flow for this year were about 36,000. Over the last 10 years, it's averaged about 44. Comparing that to the safe yield of 38, we're in the same ballpark. However, we look at return flows, we separate out ag and urban, and we include the imported water return flows in there. We're just looking at the total water applied and how much of that might return to the groundwater aquifer. So you'll see the breakdown is different between the safe yield and our calculations, but they all roll up to that same total return flow number. The bottom line, literally the bottom line, shows that our actual recharge in 2025 is only 52,000 compared to the safe yield, which was much higher of 98,000. Yeah, so the long-term natural recharge is really the big difference. We're seeing just less recharge, less precip in drier years. Okay, and then I have this last slide that sums up the written comments we've received to date. There's been we corrected a number that was missing, a number of missing applications for 2022. Those have been incorporated. We received comments from LA County Waterworks District 40 to refine some numbers. There was a rounding error in one of the tables. And AVEC reached out to talk to us about the correction of a recharge volume in one of the cells and a discussion on how we handle Lake Palmdale evaporation. Both of those we're working on and waiting for Arden to get back to really dig into the Lake Palmdale questions. And there's been some small formatting changes along the way. No major changes to the annual report since the draft was posted June 9th. And finally, my last slide is what you've all been waiting for, Arden's wedding. Arden is on her honeymoon, and these are pictures of her wedding a couple of weeks ago. She had a New Orleans band and parade, and so that's the picture. She's clearly having a good time.
Pictures, Maureen.
Okay, so now we can open it up for any questions or comments from the board on anything we've covered here today or last month's presentation as well.
Okay, first public comments. Any public comments? And board comments? No? Okay, then let's set the public hearing. Is there a motion to set the public hearing for July 22nd, 2026?
So move.
Motion by Kathy.
I'll second.
Second by Derek. Motion made in second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the motion to set the public hearing for the approval of the 2025 annual report for July 22nd, 2026, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion's carried unanimously. We're on item 13. Consideration and possible action on new production applications. Maureen, are you handling that?
That's when I'm going to turn it over to Ed. I'm going to stop my share.
It's the Ed show. Go ahead, Ed.
Thank you. Yes, so we will start with Resolution R2633, Alejandro Uribe. Their application consisted of 1 acre-feet a year, located in the southeast Antelope sub-area, comprised of a 1,956 square foot single-family home with shade and fruit trees and approximately 50 farm animals. We found the risk of material injury negligible and unanimously recommend the application for approval by the advisory committee.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Is there any discussion? We're on 13A, Resolution R2633. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R2633?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Angelica. Second by Rami. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the motion to approve Resolution R2633, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. We're on item B. Go ahead, Ed.
Item B, so Resolution R2634. This is for Xiomara Martinez. The production amount for this application was also 1 acre-feet a year, located in the central Antelope sub-area, comprised of a 1,456 square foot single-family home with an additional 1,080 foot accessory dwelling unit and 1,000 foot of irrigated landscaping for plants and trees. We found risk of material injury negligible and unanimously recommended the application for approval by the advisory committee.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Is there a motion to approve R2634?
So move.
Motion by Kathy,
Second.
second by Angelica. Any discussion? Any discussion from the public? Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the motion to approve Resolution R2634, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. We're on item C, Resolution R2635.
Thank you. The last new production application I have is for Jordi Ramirez. On this application was the production amount of 0.25 acre-feet a year, located in the central Antelope sub-area, comprised of an 800 square foot single-family home with no irrigated landscaping. We found the risk of material injury negligible and unanimously recommended the application for approval by the advisory committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Is there a motion to approve resolution R 2635? Motion made by Derek, second by Rami. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the motion to approve resolution R 2635, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. We're on item 14. Consideration and possible action on transfer applications. Item A is resolution R 2636. Go ahead. Is Ed or Maureen?
Yep, I'll continue.
Great. Thank you, Ed.
Yes. So this transfer application is for Stephen and Denise God to Robertson's Ready Mix of a one-time carryover water amount of 150 acre feet, from the central sub-area to the southeast sub-area. We found no risk of material injury, as this is a shift in locations and not expected to cause a decline in groundwater levels. The intended point of extraction is in an area showing groundwater level increases due to recharge or imported water at Little Rock Creek. The same transfer amounts were approved in 2024 and 2025. And the transfer application was unanimously recommended for approval by the advisory committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Is there a motion to approve resolution R 2636?
So moved.
Motion by Kathy,
Second.
second by Angelica. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the motion to approve resolution R 2636, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. We're on item B, resolution R 2637. Go ahead, Ed.
Thank you. So this application is transferring from Pamela God to Robertson's Ready Mix also. This application was submitted concurrently with the previous transfer application. The amounts are the same. It's 150 acre feet of one-time carryover water from the central sub-area to the southeast sub-area. We also found no risk of material injury, as it is a shift in locations and not expected to cause a decline in groundwater levels. And as I said before, the intended point of extraction is in an area showing groundwater level increases due to recharge or imported water at the Little Rock Creek, and similar transfer amounts in 2024 and 2025 were approved. The transfer application is unanimously recommended for approval by the advisory committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. We're on resolution R 2637. Is there a motion to approve resolution R 2637?
So moved.
Motion made by Kathy, second by Rami. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the motion to approve resolution R 2637, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. We're now on item 15, consideration possible action on replacement well application, and that's going to be the Angel Show. Go ahead, Angel.
Thank you, Rob. This month we have one replacement well application, and it starts on page 205 of your agenda packet. This application is for Charles Norris, and the parcel is located in the Central Antelope sub-area on Avenue E and Sierra Highway. This parcel is a small mobile home park with 24 residential connections, and this mobile home park is regulated by the State Water Control Board. The State Water Control Board has requested that they drill a new well due to the elevated arsenic, and also create a redundancy in their water supply. This new well will be drilled within 105 feet of the existing well. I did ask if maybe they had an estimate of water used there, because I explained that a small pumper is only allowed to pump 3 acre feet without paying a replacement water assessment and without metering. She did provide the estimate of 3.4 acre feet. However, rather than the Watermaster asking them to meter their well with that assumption, the state has already required that they meter that well. So in a year, I will reach out to see what they have pumped for the year. If they've pumped over 3 acre feet, then we will also, the Watermaster will require that they meter the additional well and report production and apply for new production for the overpumping. And happy to answer any questions.
So my question, this came up, we go through the agenda at the AVAC meeting the night before this meeting. And when I looked at that, I saw 24 mobile home units. And it just seemed that a small pumper, 3 acre feet or 24 units was a little, it didn't seem right. But I don't know. And I think, Rami, you guys have a lot more experience with mobile homes than AVAC does. What are your thoughts about that, if any?
Yeah, I tend to think that 3.4 acre feet is a little on the high side.
Rob, can I just give a little bit more background on this? This mobile home park, I would maybe call it a trailer park. There's no landscaping, no pools, nothing, and maybe even RVs on the lots. That's what it looks from the aerial view.
Okay, so the state's requiring a meter on the new well they're putting in.
That is correct.
Is it my understanding they're going to be using both wells to continue?
The original well will be used for maintenance only as a standby well. But like I said, if the new well pumps over 3 acre feet, then Watermaster staff will require that they also meter the second well.
We'll know next year.
Yes, we will know next year.
Okay.
And like I said, the 3.4 acre feet was just an estimate given from their receptionist. There was no engineering or engineer that provided that estimate.
Understood. Okay. We're good. So any other discussion? Any public discussion? Okay, on item 15, is there a motion to approve resolution R2638? Motion by Derek. Second by Rami. Any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor of the motion to approve resolution R2638, say aye. 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 All opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. We're on item 16, administrator's report. Update on administrative activities.
Thank you, Rob. Holly, can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, so staff, let me go back one. Holly, can you go back one, please? Okay, staff sent out we received the nominations and we sent out the ballots. The nominations that we did receive, we received one for the primary landowner representative, which will be the board member, and that was for Angelica Martin, and 2 alternate landowner representatives, which were Adrian Recca and Galen Kyle. The ballots have now been posted on the web and emailed to all parties as of yesterday. The deadline for submission of the ballots forms is 5:00 p.m. on July 14th. Let's see, next slide, Holly. All parties identified on Exhibit 4 are entitled to vote except for public water suppliers that acquired an Exhibit 4 production right. Voting is based on your overlying production right, 1 vote for every acre foot of your production right. And you're allowed to cast a vote for both positions. So you're allowed to vote for a primary landowner representative and also an alternate landowner representative. And the alternate with the highest number of votes will serve as the primary alternate, and the alternate with the second highest votes will serve as the secondary alternate. All completed ballots must be sent to the inspector of elections, just like the nomination forms were. And what else? And here's the timeline. Like I said, I sent out the ballots. The ballots are due July 14th. At the July meeting, I plan to announce the election results. And August 17th, they will officially assume office. And August 26th will be their first regular scheduled board meeting. Next slide. And update on administrative activities. We are collecting and processing payments for the replacement water assessments. We sent the ballots out. Like I said, the election results will be announced next month, and we'll also do our second quarter budget versus actual report. And I think that's it. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Angel. That brings us to item 17, Watermaster Engineers Report. Maureen and Ed, go ahead.
I'm trying to turn on my video. We don't have any slides for the engineer report. That was our annual report this time around, but we can take, oh, Ed, should we show the summary of small production? Sorry, that's the, hold on one second, I'll get that summary up. Ed, do you have that up?
No, sorry, Maureen.
No problem. I'll get that up shortly. We are missing Arden and hope she comes back soon. Okay. Okay, I'll go ahead and share my screen. Sorry about this. Okay, sharing my screen. Can everyone see that? Okay, let me turn off my video. You can see it even bigger. This is the summary of new production and qualified small pumpers. Each engineer's report, Arden updates you all on where we are and what we've approved to date. There is only 2.5 acre feet of new production that was approved with the new applications, and one application that was revoked that was 1.5 acre feet per year. We have here the table that shows the approved new production by year, and you can see for 2026, the new production total is just 13.5, and the sub areas we have by total for the entire time period. And that final table is the approved qualified small pumpers by sub area. That's for the to date as well. That's all we have for the engineer's report because we have had the annual report, but I'm happy to take any other questions on engineer responsibilities.
Any questions? None? Okay, thank you, Maureen and Ed. We're on general counsel's report.
It'll all be covered in closed session.
Okay. Any members' requests for future agenda items? None? 11:03, we did pretty good. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
I'm in.
Motion made by Kathy, second by Derek. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion to go into closed session, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion's carried unanimously. Let's try to get in there in about 5 minutes. Take a short break. Great. Thank you, everyone.